Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Capital Markets on Channels Television. Well, thank you very much, Stable, for sticking on. Now, looking at the Securities and Exchange Commission, well, finally, Ms. Aruma Ote has stepped down as the Director General. Now we have an in-house person, so to say. Remember, one of the things she was accused of was that she just came from nowhere. She didn't understand what the market dynamics are. So as it is now, but first of all, before I go into Mr. Guazo's tenure, let's look at Aruma Ote. We've heard some of the stockbrokers air their own feelings. What do you think? How has she fared this 5 years?
The 5 years, sincerely, though she came in at a very critical time in the sort of Nigerian capital market, remember, had the meltdown in 2008. We dragged into 2009. Towards the end of the year, she was appointed, and eventually she resumed, I think, 6th of January 2010. At that period, a lot of issues came up, and that continued almost throughout the period of her tenure, which culminated in that kind of House of Rep committee that was set up to investigate the meltdown. What led to that? From there, a lot of issues came up. Eventually led to a kind of a resolution from the House that it should be removed. No budget, all those stuff, both inside and out. So it has been a very turbulent year.
Well, she came up with quite a good number of reforms.
Yes, in fact, a lot of innovations, investment protection, zero tolerance for market infractions and the rest of them, a kind of good corporate governance for the operators and even the market participant and the rest of them. She came up with a lot of reform. It's just that the surrounding issues, the terrain, is now overshadowing those laudable effort and programs she put forward. And if people come up with that assessment or that point that she's not an insider, I think for me, it's a very valid argument. For instance, the market really need an insider for them to be able to understand some of the things that goes on. I could remember, I won't mention, there was a period within her tenure when she was asked to stay behind. Somebody from SEC, MFB, came up to act. There was something that man did within that period whereby most of the things that you ask brokers to come and do in Abuja, the man moved the office because 90% of the stockbroking firms are in Lagos here. So these are these are organizations and firms that are really struggling to meet, and then for them to come to Abuja, and it's like you are insensitive to that situation. So at that period, the man relocated to Lagos, and most of all those things were resolved. This is what an insider could do, to have the feeling, to have their sympathy, and be able to bring policies to their doorstep that will cut off a lot of expenses. Because at this moment, as we speak, there are a lot of losses that stockbrokers are accumulating because of no reason of theirs. You buy stock today because capital market is a market whereby you cannot predict. No researcher you can just guess. It's a guesswork of a thing. A broker that is trading doesn't know where the price of a security will close at the end of the day. It's just a guesswork. So what am I saying now is that this is what personally I feel she was not too close to the participant in the market to feel their concern and their challenges. So if people say she's an outsider, I think I will agree with them.
All right. One other reform she was trying to come up with, of course, was the capitalization or recapitalization of the stockbrokers.
Yes.
Which would have been December 31, but because of what is happening now in the macro economy, she actually extended it by 9 months.
I think I really give her kudos for that. Even though people have issues, moving a share capital of a stockbroking. What is a stock? It's an intermediary.
That was part of the complaints of the stockbrokers.
What's a stockbroker? Bring money, let me buy, charge you commission. For instance, we had analyzed those things. You bring that 300 million to the table. Of course, you have alternative costs for that fund that you have put. So if you have the 300 million. You won't go into some retail investors. No, you want to go and use that money so that you're able to declare dividend for people who have entrusted those funds into your care. So it therefore means that you'll be running around chasing big clients and leaving all these our small investors, which are critical in the market, you leave them behind. So these have been the challenges and the complaints that people are having. So for her to come up with that kind of bidder, so to speak, this September is fair, because between now and I think first quarter, second quarter, Q1, Q2 this year is still an undulating period or year for in the economy generally, of which is not the making of the stockbroking firm, because we have some factors that are beyond your control, that are outside your power. So therefore, for her to come up, it's a very laudable step in that regard, because I've said it here. But I think stockbroking firm, they don't need 300 million for them to be in business, because they have been coming out that they want foreign investors, they want some stockbroking firm, they don't want all these small stockbroking firm and the rest of them. Honestly, the bigger is your headache. If you have 5 billion naira, you will be looking for your risk become high if you are not careful, because you want to make sure you deploy that billion into a business that will generate you enough return for people who have contributed, put that money in your care. The money is not for charity, so to speak. So that is my take about that. I think that 300 million is still much on the high side.
Okay, let's look at what is being expected from the acting director general now, and perhaps the finance ministry may come up and make him the substantive DG, who knows.
Yes.
Now, what are your expectations? And I want to begin with even this recapitalization issue, because that's still a concern for stock brokers. Are you expecting that the new DG would have to go on with this?
Honestly, putting it side by side with the reality, macroeconomic reality on ground, I would really ask him to have a review concerning that. Even though they were on the stockbroking firm, they had come up or they have met with the 300 million, but I think that policy calls for a review. Then I still want to swing by the stock sec as it is. Let them be proactive. Let them still look for how to encourage our retail investor to really participate. Those who's any INR, not people who will be speculating in dollars, that when dollar cough the market be sneezing, and that, like what we are having now, all our life will be tied to dollar. Let them encourage local investors, retail investors, to actually encouragement, in kind of education and the rest of them. I will even ask you, I don't know how many stocks you personally you have. So it will come as far as that level. Let all of, for instance, the prices are very, very, very low. First by 7 or 750 kobo. I think even pocket money, anybody could be afford to.
When you talk about encouraging, what do you expect them to do in terms of for them to encourage the local investors?
What is expected? For instance, that investment protection fund should be strengthened. I learned that they want to be disbursing some funds for people who actually lost money genuinely. That should be should be seen. And people who did all this public offer, diverting money, they should be made to account for those money. It's somewhere whereby you ask for money to do a particular thing. After getting money, divert it to something else. I think they should be made to account for those money. It should not be seen that, after all, it's a public company, therefore your liability is limited to the number of shares or the share that you have. I think there should be some element of unveiling the doctrine of people behind those companies to come and account for them, because those are elements of corporate governance as it is.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how Mr. Manuel Guazo is going to run.
He's a broker. I'm sure he's familiar with the system.
The market and, of course, the whole system entirely. Now, looking at the week ahead, what are your expectations? Are we expecting to see the bears?
The bear is all in the market. People are now taking short-term profits. People are like, let me just take the little account and get, and a lot of people are doing that. You understand? So definitely, it is still the bear is still much in the market for now. So those long-term positioning they are really coming up very few. And if they are few, therefore means that the tendency for bull to get through of the market, is very, very slim and unrealistic. I think for now, the bear is still very much in the market. Though we have, because by the time we move towards maybe March, some of the results are coming, earnings, and we may have some earnings that are, positive or that meet up to the expectation of the market. So it's neither here nor there anyway.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abel Ezekiel.
Thank you.
I've been speaking with Abel Ezekiel. He is a capital market analyst, and we've been looking at the week, how the market fared this week. It's at that note that we say thank you very much for being part of the program. Do remember to join us again, same time next week. I'm Chimize Obi Iwago. Coming up next on our international platform is Dateline Abuja, and of course on our terrestrial platform is Entertainment News. Do stay with us.